You're more than welcome to. I'd have to be a part.
Hello, Christian.
Freedom of choice to choose what we eat and where we get that food. And right now the issue on the table is raw milk, but it could be another issue at another time. So basically why we're all rallying today across the country is to honor 5 years since the pre-dawn raid of farmer Michael Schmidt's farm in Ontario by over 20 armed officers of the Ministry of Natural Resources in Ontario. And they showed up at his farm and raided it for milk and other personal belongings and so on. And he was laid with, I believe, 19 or 20 charges. And he defended himself really ably in court over the case, and he actually was acquitted on all those charges. And then in late September of this year, he was, I guess there was an appeal, and now he's guilty on 15.
With whom, sorry?
You're here with the movement, right?
Yes, I am.
So do you want to speak to me and say who you are?
Sure. I'm Carrie Van Wiltenberg, and I live in Metchosin.
This way.
And I live in Metchosin, and I have cows, and I drink raw milk and have for almost 3 years to the day.
So if you gave me some right now, we'd be breaking the law?
That is correct, and I could get taken away, and I could get my animals seized, and I could get charged.
Over 20 armed officers entered Michael Schmidt's farm before dawn to take his milk. And Michael Schmidt was laid with, I believe, 19 or 20 charges, and he defended himself in court and actually won the case in 2000, a couple of years ago. And this at the end of September of this year, those charges, the acquittal was overturned, and now Michael Schmidt is convicted on 15 charges. And we're waiting for...
Would you remind us what your name is to the whole world?
My name is Carol Wagner, and this is Shakti.
And was your husband arrested already? Where is he?
Not yet. I think he's getting ready to set up. No, nobody's been arrested yet.
Oh yeah, no pepper spray, because I thought pepper and milk doesn't go too well, right?
No, I probably
And
wouldn't
okay,
think so.
who's this here on YouTube?
Oh,
Did you get the makeup girl to no?
No, not
Oh,
quite,
okay.
you know, although I did
So-
get a haircut in the past few days.
So what's happening now here? I went over there. I talked to your wife already.
Oh, okay,
She's
good,
given
good.
an intro. So, so what's the next step?
I want to get some volunteers, and we need to haul a tent and a PA system.
Okay, let's get going.
all over
I'm
here.
following you.
Okay.
And Michael Schmidt just got off, ended a 37-day hunger strike in Ontario, requesting dialogue with the Premier of Ontario, Dalton McGuinty, which he did finally receive, and which is great. But the issue is far from complete. Basically, there's two sets of laws in Canada: federal law and provincial law that relate to the illegality of raw milk. The federal law prohibits the sale of unpasteurized milk across the country, and each province has its own set of regulations. So in BC we have our own Milk Industry Act, and the Milk Industry Act prohibits any supplying, distribution, or sale of raw milk. So what that means is that while in Canada it's actually legal to drink raw milk, it's illegal to give it away.
That involves maybe doing that, or just not?
No, we've actually brought in some milk from the United States. Somebody went across the border and brought in some raw milk from the United States because it is legal to drink milk from the US that is raw, but not from Canada.
So technically, if you gave me your cow for 1 minute and I milked it myself and I drank it and then I give it back to you, would that be
Theoretically, you don't own it, it's not your cow, and we still have a problem.
But we're waiting for sentencing to happen later this week on the 25th. And Michael Schmidt is a national hero as far as I'm concerned. He just came off a 37-day hunger strike, and he said he was willing to die for this cause, which is pretty intense in my world. He was requesting a meeting with Ontario Premier Dalton McGuinty to finally begin a face-to-face dialogue with government on the right to choose the food we eat. And I think we're standing here, I know we're all standing here today in solidarity with this food freedom movement. So today we have a bit of an agenda. You've already visited with Shelby.
Shakti.
She's our champion.
Shakti.
She's a good girl.
Hi, Shakti.
Walk in front of there if you like.
And do you want to tell us what the day is today?
Today is November 23rd, and we're here to
What time, which ferry did you were on the 10, right?
Yeah, we're on the 950, yeah.
Oh, I gave your wife the labels, but I have some more.
The labels?
Oh yeah, I told you about those labels, remember?
Okay. So it's Nicholas and MLA?
Nicholas MLA on the Sunshine Coast who
Okay.
drinks raw milk.
Yeah, yeah.
It's against raw milk.
Yeah.
So we're
It's against the ruling, the making it illegal to sell raw
Super
milk.
interesting because a recent survey of the dairy farmers in Canada, I believe it was a 2010 published study, peer-reviewed study, if I'm not mistaken, showed that I believe 88% of the dairy farmers surveyed were actually drinking raw milk themselves out of their milk tanks. And yet, as consumers, if I seek out a farmer and say to them, because I live in a house in the suburbs, I can't really have a cow in my backyard, can I buy a share in your cow and pay you to milk that cow for me so I can have my own property, which is the milk of my cow or my goat. That's what we call herd share.
and they've just recently changed it so that you can't even have a herd share. You can't buy into a herd and legally drink the milk that way. So
I know.
And if you own a water buffalo, can't do that one either.
Oh, okay.
That's
I
very
just really
sad.
want to taste it.
I
fresh
know, I
up,
would love
you
to
know.
give it to you, I'm just not
Okay.
allowed.
And do you want to show, this cow is yours?
This is, yes, Shelby is mine.
Can we go talk to her?
Yes, of course. Yeah,
Hello.
this is Shelby. She's a 7.5-year-old registered pure Jersey.
Yeah.
Came originally from a commercial dairy.
Yeah.
Her cream was not high enough for them, so they sold her to me.
Sorry.
Welcome all three of them. Well, we've got Lana Popham, who's the opposition critic for agriculture. We've got Jenny Kwan, who is the member for Mount Pleasant. Is that correct? Yep. And Nicholas Simon, who's the member for the Sunshine Coast. And this. Oh, excuse me, Michael Farnworth. Michael Farnworth, the health critic as well.
Crazy. Crazy.
And so who else is here? Let's go see the cow.
I don't know the cow or the lady. She's down here milking.
Okay, where are you from?
I'm from Salt Spring.
And what's the name of your farm?
EcoReality Co-op.
And how long have you been doing this?
We've had these goats for just a little over 3 years.
Okay. And what's the next step? What would be the beginning of a resolution for making it legal to drink good milk?
Well, we've got a couple of MLAs here, and maybe Christy Clark will show up.
Oh, yeah.
She's a raw milk advocate.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Make those, you can template those. Those are the real antique, unused.
Yeah.
So they're vintage.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you're welcome. You want to show them to the documentary?
Christiana is
them to
bringing
the
some
camera.
bees over to our place.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's a way that we thought was legal to access raw milk in this country, but as these farm raids have shown, so not just in Ontario, but also in a couple other provinces, including here in BC with farmer Alice Jonkerton in Chilliwack, BC, who's been shut down or asked to stop cease and desist milking and distribution of milk to her herd share members. That's what we're standing for here today, basically to say we'd like to see herd shares legalized. We have a real concern about the line of government that says that the raw milk is a very hazardous product. If you look at the data from the Centre for Disease Control in British Columbia, there's only a single report of a so-called illness from a foodborne illness from raw milk over the last decade, I believe. And if you take a good look at that data, that association between the illness and the raw milk has not even been conclusive.
I don't think you'll be here. I don't think she'll be here because you guys don't really have a clear message. So, it's not, no, I was kidding. I'm just quoting her yesterday. She was bashing the occupiers.
Oh, I heard that.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
like,
was immediately
these people
like,
don't have a message.
Yeah, no.
Okay, well.
Yeah, right.
Can I try some milk?
No.
Yana's setting up over there. We're going to need some help, folks, to carry some heavy stuff over to the main site. Can I get some volunteers?
Really give you
You
milk.
can't even give it to me?
No.
So what if I just went straight to the source?
Go for it.
Okay, all right.
But she's not. She has to be clean first and stuff. So
Yeah. Oh, okay. And over there, is she giving out some milk?
I don't know. You'll have to ask her.
Oh, okay. So,
Good luck.
and website?
The website, ecoreality.org. O-R-G.
Okay, can I hand these back to you for now since
sure,
I have
sure.
so
Yeah,
many
yeah.
things to do?
Yeah, that's okay.
For what we eat. I think it's ridiculous that we can go down to Washington State and purchase raw milk and bring it up here for our own consumption, but our government says that it's too unsafe for us to get it from animals, even though the public health records show that there's like virtually zero, incidences of foodborne illness from raw milk in our country and in the USA.
My husband is Jan Steinman.
When will he be here?
He'll be here. I mean, he's here somewhere. He's probably off with Nadine.
Okay.
Nadine's right there.
Okay, Nadine. Who's Nadine?
I am.
Hi.
Hi.
She said that you were with Johan. I'm Christian. I'm just.
Yeah, with Jan.
So yeah, that's a bad joke, but I came to the legislature to see the goats and the cows, and all I saw was the pigs.
Milk and honey.
Well, raw milk, unpasteurized.
Unpasteurized honey, that's the next thing to go after.
Can you see the labels? So it says unpasteurized, not pasteurized.
Yeah,
and those are unused, and hopefully they'll be legally used.
Problem with being overmilked and fed lots and lots of grain. So with that problem,
Sure.
Is that okay?
Sorry, you're from CTV?
Yes.
Yeah, can I just
Get closer.
logistically set something up?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, great.
Sure.
Are you okay with me following and covering?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
totally fine.
Nad-
Sit on the sidewalk out there?
I'll walk over.
Okay.
that eats that kind of beef. And she came to me, I fixed the problem, and with proper food management, proper milking, and proper handling techniques, she doesn't get mastitis on a regular basis anymore. She's got very clean, very fresh, very good quality milk.
And we really welcome this dialogue so much. This really stands for what we stand for, which is dialogue with government. Right? So just to be really clear, raw milk is illegal for sale in Canada. The United States, where there's actually a lot more hard data on raw milk consumption as well as foodborne illness from raw milk, you'll see that the Center for Disease Control in the United States has been forced to admit in the last month or so that in the 10-year period up to 2008 there was not a single death in the United States attributed to raw milk. And so that, there are actually millions of cases of foodborne illness in the United States every year, and not a single death from raw milk. And yet we're being given this line that raw milk is so dangerous, it's so dangerous that we should not have the right to choose it. Although we can choose whiskey, we can choose cigarettes, Twinkies, Coca-Cola, all of these things that we know have definite Maple Leaf Foods, cantaloupe.
They're going after the producers, not the consumers, So I don't think that anyone who drinks the milk will be taken away in chains. Okay.
Well, I think they came prepared for your arrest. I mean, I don't think you'll be able to get away from this one. Is there enough? What would be the best scenario case after today in terms of
the best outcome for today would be a legalize of cow shares in Canada, all across Canada. I would like to see legalized cow shares in Canada.
And what if it was just legalized, allowed to sell milk to whoever you want to? Would that be
That's
even better?
okay as well. I'd also like to see regulations to show that we are going to have safe milk, that farms are inspected and things are tested on a regular basis to prove that they're clean.
And she's
have definite health risks, and yet why is it that we're not getting this right to choose? So it's obvious to us that there's invested interests at stake here. I've taken a look at the transcripts of the legislature of our British Columbia government recently in June, where they made some changes to the BC Milk Act, and it was really clear from those transcripts that the changes to the Act were made at the request of the industry, meaning the dairy industry.
All those members of law enforcement who stand behind me and put themselves in harm's way every single day.
and get drunk drivers off the road every single day. They stand in the way of us and danger for our families.
Compromise the position that local farmers would have in relation to producing a local product. And so we're just asking for dialogue. We're asking that our government take a close look at the safety considerations, take a close look at who the different stakeholders are, and say that we as consumers and we as supporters of farmers are people that should be consulted when we're creating laws that pertain to our food choices.
Decide in our lives that we want to make a difference. And some of us make a bigger difference than others. Lowell and Mike Midler have made a tremendous difference. And every single family for this project is great. Yes. Thank you.
Hey, I got a bumper sticker idea for you.
Yeah?
Drink raw milk and drive.
And yet, taking a look at the federal regulation, there are very detailed regulations for the following farm fresh milk products. Condensed milk, or sweetened condensed milk, evaporated skim milk, concentrated skim milk, evaporated partly skim milk, concentrated partly skim milk, flavored milks, malted skim milk powder, milk powder or skim milk powder in which the vitamin content has been increased by irradiation. That sounds like fresh food to me.
She just drank milk right out of the cow. Is that legal or illegal?
That is totally legal. This is the irony. You see, Carrie over there, she owns her cow. And if you're an owner of an animal, you can do whatever you want with that milk. Except give it away. You know, what we're asking for is the right to choose food from local farmers, fresh farmers. Fresh farmers. Fresh food from local farmers. We think it's ridiculous that we can go down and cross the border to Washington State, purchase raw milk, bring it across the border to drink here, but we can't get milk from our own local farmers. What's wrong with this picture? Wow.
In at least Ontario, Alberta, and BC, the government has decided, no, that's not really ownership. That's more like a Costco membership or something, and we don't recognize that.
Also, they want to make Costco memberships illegal too?
Could be, I don't know.
Sorry. This is the principle behind herd sharing, is that if I can buy a share in that cow, then the milk should also belong to me. You can buy shares in cars, corporations, all kinds of things.
You can buy the cow, share in the cow, and then chop it up and take your chunk of meat.
That's right, but I mean, we're hoping to take the share in the living cow or the living goat, and we're being told that we don't have that freedom of association. We're not allowed to decide what is our property and decide what we put in our bodies. And you know, Canada is the only G8 country that doesn't have legal provisions for the sale of raw milk. I think we're in the dark ages. It's really time for our province to take a look if we're really saying that we're a progressive province.
And what's next on the agenda for today, if you don't mind me knowing?
What's next what?
For today, what's happening now?
Well, she's milking a cow down there.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be some talks here.
Okay.
As soon as they're done, we're going to move up into this area.
Okay.
And then there's going to be several MLAs talk at about a quarter after.
Okay.
And then we're going to go milk a goat down there.
Okay.
Hey, Crystal!
I took a good look at the federal regulations this morning before I came, and at the moment there is no provision in Canadian law for the legal sale of raw milk, although in all the other G8 countries there is a provision for the sale of raw milk. Get on with it, Canada.
Glad you made it. All right. Good to see you again. Yeah, it's been a while. Oh my God, it's good to see you. Oh, a little frazzled, but that's usual. Yeah.
I'll leave you shortly, okay? Be right back.
The BC government also has regulations prohibiting the supply and distribution of milk. So what that means is that in Canada and in BC, it's legal to drink raw milk. So if you're a farmer and you have your own goat or you have your own cow and you milk that animal, you can drink that milk. But if you live in the suburbs, you live in the city or in a condominium, and you want fresh milk, you don't have that right. That's not okay.
Does that seem clear to everyone? Okay.
You good with that? I can take it. Like, do my part.
On three. One,
What we've
two,
been standing for the last few years is the concept of herd shares, which means that someone who doesn't have an animal on their land can purchase a share in an animal from a farmer who does have that animal and pay them a milking fee or a maintenance fee to take care of that animal for us, and so that we can have access to our own property. Yeah. So what we're asking for at this rally is that our BC government take a very close look at its Milk Industry Act and make provisions for the legalization of herd shares in British Columbia.
Okay, you guys have done this before, haven't you? You're pros. You're amateurs. You got this net one down.
How long you guys out here yet?
Till 1:30.
Because there is nothing under Canadian law, a federal law, that prohibits it. Because herd shares do not involve the sale of raw milk. Yeah? Is that clear? Yeah, okay. So usually when we talk about this issue, we get a response from government that pertains to the safety concern. And I've been informed that there may actually be a public health inspector here today, and I just wanted to welcome that person and say that we're really glad you're here, and we welcome the dialogue with you as well. And if we're planning any illegal activities, you'll be the first to know, and we'll guide you to the site. And you know, if there are any charges that need to be laid, we understand that you do have to do your job, but all of us have to consider the ethical position we're in when we do our jobs. So, what I wanted to talk about just for a moment is the safety picture, because this is the first thing that we're hit with typically when we say legalize raw milk. Usually when we say all the other G8 countries seem to think it's safe, people start to wonder. When we say things like in Europe or in Italy, you can go to a vending machine in public and dispense yourself a glass bottle full of raw milk. People start to wonder. You know, but really, is raw milk a health hazard? It's an honest question that we do have to address.
Pretty soon, right?
I'm actually not going to bring up on the lawn. They don't want her on the lawn. Because, you know, this time of the year she can mess up the lawn, and I don't want her eating the grass that's on the lawn because it may be full of pesticides, and I don't want that in my milk tomorrow morning.
All right.
So from the BC Centre for Disease Control, what we're seeing is a single case of suspected or alleged foodborne illness from raw milk since, what was the year? Let me get the year. Let me just get the data properly.
Thank you so much for the interview, and I'll see you again.
Okay, take
nice
care.
to meet you. Bye.
I'll tell you the date. It was 2001. And if you actually take a very close look at the data from the Public Health Agency of Canada, you'll find that the Public Health Agency calls into question whether that actually was a sickness from raw milk or from some kids going to a petting zoo.
Hi, Miss Rosie.
So just hold it lightly.
So let's go to the United States, where there's raw milk legalized in a number of states, and we actually have some pretty hard data about how many Americans, Americans from the USA, that is to say, are drinking raw milk. Okay, so so let me grab that data. Sorry to make you wait again. I just like to get my facts straight.
Scale of access, like if you were to drink raw milk, how close do you have to be to so that it's not traveling long distances, you know? Like there's, like the fresher it is, the less likely there'll be like that.
In the USA, we have hard data of 9.4 million people, or 3.04% of the population, are recorded as consuming raw milk. So there's a chance that may be higher, but anyway, let's just go with 9.4 million people. The Center for Disease Control in the United States has had to admit this last month that between 1998 and 2008, there were a total of 0 cases of death from raw milk.
Of course.
I need that too.
That's what he told me.
It's like,
Sounds like a pretty dangerous food to me. So we do have other data. We have 48 million incidences of foodborne illnesses in the United States from all causes, and a total of 42 possible raw milk illnesses reported by the Center for Disease Control. So we're talking about a tiny, tiny, minuscule amount of number of people getting sick, and of course we don't want anyone to get sick, right? So this is why we're actually really concerned about the raw milk situation in Canada. The first thing is the herd share issue. The second thing is that there's this double standard where farmers get to access their milk and citizens who are non-farmers don't.
I can't believe it only gets everybody in there.
How did you get it?
Have they changed?
And a recent survey of Canadian dairy farmers, several thousand of them, I think there were a couple of thousand who ended up replying to the survey, 88.7% of those farmers said that they were drinking raw milk off of their own farm. Right? And this is the same milk that we're told by government is unsafe for the rest of us and needs to be legislated out of existence. So the big question is, why? What's at stake? Who's invested in this question?
Totally. Oh my God, I feel you.
So, taking a look at the transcripts of our legislature and some recent changes to the Milk Industry Act, we have our agriculture minister telling us very clearly that some changes are made at the request of the industry. That's not at request of farmers, that's not at request of you and me, and what we're requesting is dialogue, right? We want to be considered when our government makes choices that pertain to our ability to choose what we put in our bodies.
This lady's here?
So great.
All right, so I'm going to end it on a personal note and invite Jan Steinman to talk for a few minutes, or a minute or two, whatever he feels like. I'd just like to say that for me personally, raw milk is, farm fresh milk. Oh, okay. So we're actually going to get our MLAs to speak right away. Yeah. So that for me, raw milk is a traditional food of my people from Germany and from Pakistan, and I find it to be really an absolute ethical affront that I have to be involved in criminal activity to feed my child my traditional food. It's not okay.
All right.
I'm going to invite Jackie to introduce our MLAs.
Okay. Good afternoon now. Very quickly, my name is Jackie Ingram. I'm a herd share member, which means I own a share of a cow, and I'm here to tell you a story, thank you, in a minute and a half, about a woman called Alice Youngerden. She used to be a farmer. She started with 1 cow 4 years ago, and her herd went up to 30, and she practiced really good sustainable agriculture. She had the best animal practices, and any one of her 450 members could come to the farm at any time to be with their animals. Before she was put out of business, she had 450 households, families, children, and pregnant women, but the government said no. So why did they? Well, that's the question that you need to be asking. After all, it is 2011. The government will tell you it's about health. It's not about health, and we're here to tell you it's not about health. In British Columbia, we actually know of one MLA who enjoys raw milk and other politicians who have friends who consume raw milk from the States because they can't get it here. So much for both sides of the House last week supporting the 100-mile diet.
How long have you been at the school for? Thank you.
This movement is committed to an open and honest dialogue with the government and its opposition. We are here today to educate members of the public and the politicians, and we are asking you to write to your MLAs. Don't be put off if your first response refers you back to the Ministry of Health. Tell them that civil rights, agriculture and health are all provincial jurisdictions. And at this stage, on behalf of all of the herd share members here in Victoria and in Vancouver, we really welcome Lana Popham, the agricultural critic, and Jenny Kwan. So come on over.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, so let's come follow me.
Yeah.
So, what's the truth now?
Well,
did I just break the law, or?
No.
It's just a community purpose.
Not really.
But it looked like I did, right?
In a way, yes. Some people like Fraser Health or Vancouver Island Health would say that you've broken the law.
Mike Farnworth, our health critic, wanted to share a personal story with you.
Just hold it, Mike. Just hold it, Mike. It's fine. Thank you, technical expertise.
No, apparently it's not a budget.
Just wanted to share two quick stories with you. One of my first real jobs I had was at the P&E. I worked in the livestock barns when I was 16 and 17. I spent 2 P&Es working there. I kept the aisles clean where the cows were. And farmers really liked the job that I did, and as a reward each morning, they would give me, particularly one had a nice stall of Jersey cows, they're gorgeous as you know, would give me a nice great big full gallon, 2-gallon container of milk that they just, milked that morning. It wasn't pasteurized. I took it home with me on the bus, put it in the fridge, and I enjoyed it on my cereal. I love scooping the cream off, and I don't think it did me any harm. And the other is more recently, I spent a few years working in Bulgaria in the Balkans in 2002, 3, and 4. And again, right outside where I lived was a market where I would get fresh fruits and vegetables, but I would also get my dairy products, which was either goat's milk or cow's milk, and it was fresh from the little farm, usually someone with a cow or a couple of goats, and it was sold in the market, and I enjoyed it. So I am sympathetic to what you're talking about, and I think we need to have a real thorough discussion because, I think the French healthcare system and French health standards and UK health standards and American health standards are every bit as good as ours here in Canada, and are just as concerned about health as we are. And I think there's nothing wrong with looking to see what they're doing and improve things here. And you know what? I enjoyed raw milk when I was a kid, and I enjoyed it in Bulgaria too. So I just wanted to share that with you.
I've broken the law by giving it to you. You haven't broken the law by drinking it. I've broken the law by handing it to you.
Oh yeah, so I shouldn't ask you your name then.
Gordon Watson.
And my name is Christian, but even if I had broken the law, it would be for a good cause, right?
This is the essence of civil disobedience.
Oh, is it Wiggly? So are you from Victoria? Oh, okay.
Get back in, yes. Big round of applause for these guys. Well done, you're brave, yes. Woo! Okay.
I work at Monday nights. She just went by.
So after that, I'd just like to introduce Jan Steinman, who's from Salt Spring Island, EcoReality is farm, and he's going to be milking his goat Shakti, and I'm going to let him describe to you what else he's going to do today.
Nadine, sorry to interrupt. Did you still want her out there, or do you want me to put her away? I mean, is she comfortable? She seems fine with me. I mean, she might go poop on the sidewalk, but I can clean that up.
Wasn't expecting such drama here. So. First of all, do we have herd share members here? I know there are a couple. I'm sorry. Do we have EcoReality co-op members? Colin. Okay, we had a couple who are going to be here.
She doesn't want any more. Oh yes, they're more than welcome to touch her. And I'm just going to pack up those. How do you spell your name?
I feel better now. It was so delicious. The other policeman didn't want to try it. He would have lost his job over a sip of
No, he's
milk.
confused. He doesn't understand.
I guess he doesn't know me. He didn't want to be a second dipper.
Well, he doesn't know who you are and what's going on. He's thinking about drinking alcohol.
We set up a herd share program. We currently have 44 members, and we're supplying them with delicious, nutritious raw goat milk on a regular basis. And that's illegal, and I didn't know that when I set it up. I set up thinking, well, our Charter of Rights and Freedoms, Part 2, says we have freedom of association, which is essentially you have the right to do collectively whatever you have the right to do individually. If you own a cow, you can drink its milk. if you join together and own a cow, your freedom of association, your constitutional freedom of association says that all of you who own that cow have that same freedom.
Heavy people to just stand on the side here.
So I went to a lot of trouble, talked to a lawyer, spent countless hours drawing up papers, looking at other agreements, and set this all up. And then bam, I find out it's illegal in BC because in the past, who knows when, a few years or so, they slipped some language in there into the Milk Industries Act at the request of the dairy industry that makes it illegal.
Great.
How about offshore milking? Like, we just get a barge in the middle of the ocean there, and we just go on.
Sure. Well, you can bring it across the international. You can bring it across the international. They brought milk in from Washington State.
Yeah.
And you can drink that.
So okay.
It's raw.
All right.
It came from Washington State, and you can legally drink that. And how ridiculous is that?
So you're looking into it a little more, right?
Could be. Yeah. It's perfectly legal to drink alcohol.
So where does this come from?
From England.
What did you do? You got it sent to you?
A friend of mine sent this to me by FedEx the other day.
Often or just for today?
Oh no, I keep it, yeah.
Nice, nice. Well,
I'm here today in an act of civil disobedience. We're going to milk Shakti, and if I can find our herd chair members who are going to be here, we're going to drink that milk. I'm going to distribute it to them, which is called a supply of raw milk in the Milk Industries Act. Because these are the owners of the animals. They need this milk. A degenerate case, let's say you have your own cow or you have your own goat. You milk it like crazy, you get tired of doing it twice a day, and you want to go, your aunt dies in Halifax and you need some time to go see your aunt. You talk to your neighbor. Your neighbor says, sure, I'll milk the cow. Okay, if I have some of the milk while you're gone? Oh yeah, please. You know, drink all the milk you want while we're gone. You are breaking the law.
And only sidewalks, and not all of the roads were vegetables and fruit as well.
Goat on the ferry, go milk it and come back with raw milk, right?
Yeah, well, they get a little expensive.
But still.
Yeah, right.
Let's do it someday.
You'd have to go into international waters, though.
Oh yeah, but if it's legal to, is it legal to milk a Canadian cow in the U.S.?
I don't. Why not? I just have to take her across the.
Do you want to take the ferry with me and so I can taste you?
Can I bring Canadian goat milk back across from Washington?
Yeah, they probably wouldn't like to see our animals there.
Now let's say, well, your neighbor saves all this milk, puts it in the refrigerator. The neighbor milked the cow, and he supplies you with milk. He's breaking the law. Is this crazy or what?
Yeah.
You can drive to Blaine, and you can buy raw milk and bring it in, but you cannot get it from your neighbor, even in exchange for labor, even for free. It's illegal.
Okay. Do you want to? Yeah. Oh, you want to try it? Yeah. Do you mind if I?
And
my pleasure.
I'm sure yeah, nice to meet you. Cheers.
You made the point. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we'll see you. Bye-bye.
So this has to change.
Yeah.
So I invite you all to witness. We're going to milk a cow, and hopefully, Colin, we're going to milk a goat, and hopefully, Colin and Sophia, our two herd share members, who said they'd be here, but I don't see them, will come by and drink that milk. If not, it will be Carol and I drinking the milk. And if I supply it to Carol, I suppose I'm still breaking the law. So thank you all for coming today. Thank you.